Welcome to episode 104 of the Slip and Weight podcast. I'm here this week with my guy, Ian Green, middleweight contender from Paterson, New Jersey. Ian, thanks for coming on today, man.
No problem, man. What's going on?
Not too much. I mean, first of all, congratulations on your most recent win against Vaughn Alexander. I think it was 2 weeks ago, right?
The second, so probably like 3.5.
Okay, so 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was when I saw you in the gym when I was making the Shadeja documentary. You had an opponent change. You had a date change. I know there was another date change after because the date that we had talked about came and went. What was the reason for the last date change? And then what was it like for you to finally get in the ring after all the changes and the preparation that you had been through?
If I'm not mistaken, I know I was supposed to be a co-feature to Adrian Broner, and we were supposed to fight November 4th. But I don't know, something happened. It was something going on with Don King, and I guess it was too much of us on one card, so they wanted to split the card in half, and they let, I think it was Gildry and somebody else headline the 4th, and they made AB headline the 2nd of December. So they switched us and they put us in December. So I had to wait another full month. So yeah.
Was that an advantage for you? Did you feel like that was better, or were you kind of at a point where
I
you were
was
ready to go?
Yeah, because I was already training for the 4th. I was already in camp for like 7 weeks for the 4th of November. So it was kind of I was kind of pissed, but it is what it is.
Was Broner on the same card that you fought on?
Nah, so then leading up to the 2nd, like a week before that fight, Broner had an injury. So, I was under the impression like, damn, they about to cancel the card. But, Don let the card go on. He just bumped me up to main instead of co-main. And we kept the show rolling. Thank God.
I mean, that had to feel good after everything you have been through to get to that fight to actually be the main event. That must have been at least like a small reward for all the troubles.
Yeah, for sure. All the opponent changes. And, going back to it, it really wasn't an opponent change because first it was Vaughn Alexander. No, first it was Mark DeLuca.
That's who it was when I saw you.
Yeah, it was Mark DeLuca. And then it was Vaughn. Then they said it wasn't gonna be Vaughn. So there was a point in time I didn't even know who I was fighting. For like a good 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks, or a month, I didn't know who I was fighting. And then they came back and told me it was gonna be Vaughn. So yeah, it was just a lot going on. So I was happy to be the main event. It was all worth it.
So you came out, you basically dominated the fight behind your jab. You were boxing real smart. It caught you with a little something in the 6th, but it seemed like you caught your legs pretty quick. Talk me through the fight. How did you feel during the fight? How did you rate your performance, and what were some of the takeaways for you after the fight?
Well, I've been off damn near a year. I fought twice in 2023, but so far apart. So far apart. It was in January, and then 12 months later. So I wanted to kind of like shake the rust off, So, my game plan was just to come out, just shake the rust off, use my jab, get my timing, my distance, and everything down pat. And my game plan was to walk him down lead, and break him down. But it wasn't gonna be until about the 8th round, not the 7th. It was gonna be like into the 8th. But he called me in the 6th. So everything was going perfect until he caught me. And when he caught me, I'm like, you know what? It was a real good shot. And I told myself, I'm like, all right, I'm not even gonna wait another round to walk him down. I'm gonna just do it now because I don't want him to build no momentum or even think that, since he landed that shot, he could have more success off of it. So I started to walk him down earlier than I was supposed to, basically. But it was everything. It was pretty cool though. Everything was good. Everything planned out, came out the way I planned it to. I knew all that was going to happen. I knew I was going to get the knockout later in the rounds, and I knew that my style switch would kind of mess with him mentally. I knew everything was going to happen that way.
You're like a pretty talented guy in a division that's not really that deep right now. Why is somebody like you not fighting for 11 months?
I mean, all I really could do is train. Like, I got my team working behind the scenes. I was supposed to fight in June, but something went wrong, and I just had to wait to get on the next card, which is in November, in December. So yeah, man. Long story short, the best way I can answer that is I'm just doing my job, and that's just been staying ready. So now everything's out of my hands. I just gotta be ready for when the call comes. So yeah.
What were in your mind kind of the implications of that fight, or I guess at this point, like what are your expectations of what's going to be next for you in 2024?
So all right. So I was thinking, right? So my last couple fights has been tough fights. I've been fighting tough fights lately. So all right, I fought the Castro kid. Nobody ain't really know him, but he's a tough fighter. He was undefeated. So when I knew I was fighting Vaughn, I looked at his resume, and I'm like, all right, he fought Johnny Beck, and he had a split decision. It was a while back, so but at the same time, he never lost at 160. If you look at his box rec, he's undefeated at 160. Every time he lost, he went up in weight at 168, and he beat a lot of undefeated prospects, right? He beat a lot of undefeated
He's a
prospects.
spoiler.
Yeah, for sure. And he been stopped once at 168. So I was just looking at it as like, all right, he's undefeated at 160. He's not getting this fight short notice. He had a lot of time to train for this fight. I'm like, I know people from on the outside really want to know that, but I'm like, all right, if I beat him, if I stop him, that'd be amazing because he don't get stopped. That's one. But also, if I just beat him one sided, clearly, cleanly, that'll show the like what level I'm on. Even though it was a while back, Johnny back went for a tooth and nail with him. So if I could, at minimum, show that like the fight isn't close, then it will let the world know, or the people who's really in tune know that I belong on that level. So me stopping him, even though the show wasn't nobody, it wasn't as promoted as it should have been, and people really aren't in tune as they should be. I feel like me stopping him shows that and improves that. And the real boxing people that fans they know, real boxing fans know. So I think it's gonna I want bigger fights. Like I think I deserve bigger fights from that, and I want bigger fights. When you look at the top 15 and WBA or just in general, a lot of middleweights they not taking like tough fights. Like I think I'm one of the only middleweights that's like taking tough fights. Like it's probably three or four of us that's taking
It's
real
like
fights.
you and Marquise Taylor, I think, are the two guys that are really like going out of their way to take tough fights.
Tough fights to show that, you know, yeah, like I don't really think it's everybody everybody want to keep their everybody. I don't know, guys are scared to fight nowadays. It's weird. It's boxing though. This is the sport. But yeah, I guess the sport things change, man. You take a loss and they treat you like your career is over. So
It feels
I
like that's starting to change a little bit with the younger guys because there's more kind of undefeated versus undefeated matchups. It's like I think the longer we get from like Floyd retiring, the less important it
yeah,
becomes. But like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
definitely still a thing.
No, it is for sure. It is for sure. I was supposed to fight, but I guess I'm not even gonna say he was like ducking me because I see he got a better opportunity now. But I was supposed to fight Connor Coyle. He's like 20-0.
He's a hell of a fighter.
Yeah, we were supposed to. He everything that he asked for, they gave him. Everything was a go. Like they called me and said, "Hey, the fight is a go." Like he's agreed to everything. We just waiting for him to send the contract back. And they said last minute, he said no, he didn't want to do it. So at that point, I'm thinking to myself like, damn, these fighters really scared to
When was
fight,
that gonna be?
huh?
When was
For
that
this
fight gonna be?
for this last fight, but come to find out, they just announced that he fighting Ammo. So bigger platform, bigger. name, so I kind of understand it. You know, I can't really
What
be
are your thoughts on that matchup? And is the winner somebody that the kind of opponent that you'd be
yes.
interested in?
That yo, I would love the winner. Please, like it's to me, it's all right. It's better because instead of being both of them, I just got to beat one now. Like, but I got my eyes on the both of them. I want to either Connor because they both ranked above me in the WBA. You know, I feel like Ammo is taking good tough fights too. In my opinion, like he's not taking just any
Yeah,
like he
Kieran Conway's no joke, bro. That was a tough fight.
yeah he's taking good fights. So I give him his props too. Cordell Booker, he's a great fighter. I spar him and I know like the level of talent he has. So like nah, Ammo's he's taking good fights, but yeah, I would love to fight any of them. You know, those are fights I want. Like I would love to get the winner. You know, Connor Coyle or Ammo, whichever one. Like I would love for Don to call Eddie and make that happen. If Ammo wins, please make that happen. One, two, three. I'll go to Ammo hometown. I'll go to the zone and fight him. I don't like. I want to make a fight like that happen. They got him rated real high, and they got him rated in a lot of sanctioned bodies. So, you know, I love to fight him. You know, I would love to. I would love to fight Shadering on him. But like I said, it ain't up to me. You know, I just gotta stay ready and stay in shape and just pray that they put me in the right position.
We talked about this a little bit in the gym one of the days that I was there, but what are your thoughts on Janovic as a fighter and as a champion? Because I think a lot of people tend to downplay his skill set, but there is some really tricky shit that he does. I think that gives guys a hard time come fight night. What
Mhm.
are your thoughts on him? Because I know you sparred him a little bit, and what do you think it is about him that gives guys such a hard time?
Yeah, no, I think Johnny Beck is a great fighter. You know, he's a boogeyman for a reason. He don't they don't usually they give fighters names that they don't really deserve, but I honestly believe he deserved that name, you know. But since he's not a big name, since people don't really know him, fighters try to like tend to downplay him, but you can't. He's a unified champ. He's a tricky fighter. He has real good defense. He's powerful, you know, good movement. Um, nah, he's everything that he's hyped up to be, in my opinion. I like him as a fighter, and man, I would love to share the ring with him as well. You know, like I would love to fight him too. But it's up to Don and him to put me in position. But nah, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
So the kind of fights you're looking for, essentially, Ammo versus Connor Coyle. I think that whoever wins that fight is going to kind of emerge as a contender. Whoever's kind of ranked above you in the WBA. I know,
Yeah,
I know. There's Janabek. Is there any interest for you in fighting Shane Mosley Jr.? Because in my mind, that's one of the best fights at middleweight right now.
I will. Like I said, if it ain't Johnny Beck is the fight I want. Johnny
Right.
Beck or Lara. A world. I want to be a world champion when it's all said and done. Like I don't want to. Like yeah, if I had to fight an Ammo or a Mosey to get one of them guys, yes. But ultimately, a Lara, Charlo, or Johnny Beck. Those are guys I want to fight. But I know it don't work that way. So the names that get me there are the Shane Moseys and the Ammos, you know? So yes, guys like that is who I want. So Shane Mosey, I would love that fight because I do believe him or Ammo would put me in position for a Johnny Beck or a Charlo or a Lara, you know? So or like a Zarafa, somebody like him. Like, but he's about to fight Lara for the belt, so but yeah, just yeah, I would love to fight Shane Mosley. That'd be I would love that fight. I swear I love that fight. I hope they could make that happen. I hope Adrian Broner fight Ryan Garcia, but it looks like that's not gonna happen because Ryan and
That sounds like a stretch to me, to be honest, bro.
yeah, no, I was just saying like if AB fight Ryan, then you know, then they can make that happen because Mosley's with Golden Boy, right?
Uh, I think so. Yeah, he usually fights on the zone.
Yeah, yeah, I think he's signed with Golden Boy if I'm not mistaken. So, but yeah, it's a wrap for that because you see, Devin Haney and Ryan is about to fight. So,
Is that actually a real thing? That's the next fight?
well, they say they're in the negotiations.
Man, something tells me that might be a little bit of a mismatch, bro.
Yeah, I think Devin beats him easily. Devin's looking good right now.
Bro, I think too, the more he kind of fills into his body and he's not killing himself cutting weight, I just think he's a real problem with his size and like the length on his jab. I feel like, in a lot of ways you fight in a similar kind of style where, you keep guys on the end of your jab, kind of throw when you want to throw. And I think that's what was impressive against Regis, bro. Devin really just stood his ground and dominated in the pocket.
Yeah, range general shit. Whenever he wanted to box, that's when he boxed. Whenever he wanted to fight, that's when they fought. It was easy work. Like he made Regis look like he didn't even box before. And this is a two-time world champion that like guys avoid it. So for him to make him look like that, you got to give him nothing but you got to give him his respect for
Well,
sure.
and it was the consensus number one guy at 140. I don't think there was anybody, you know what I mean? Like there wasn't anybody else that people were saying that's the top guy at 140. And not for nothing, it felt like
They,
Haney probably lost to Lomachenko. So even if he lost it on paper, that's almost more impressive that you coming off a loss, moving up in weight and beating the best guy at that weight, you know?
Yeah, nah, that was man, nah, that was a hell of a performance. He
Do you see
definitely.
do you see shit like that and get inspired like a performance like that?
Oh hell, what? Absolutely, like yeah, hell yeah. When I see guys put on performances like that, that makes literally the next day I'm in the gym trying to perfect my craft for sure. Hell yeah, it's just natural. Like when you're a competitor, you want to like outdo somebody that did real well at something. Like that's just like competitive nature. So absolutely, that like you want to be there. You see pay-per-view, main event, like that's like every fighter's dream. So hell yeah, that motivates you a lot.
What is your take on like the middleweight division as a whole? Because I think when people talk about it, they talk about it like it's something from the past. But I've had a lot of really talented middleweights on this podcast. It feels like what's missing is the matchups. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I just feel like it's at like a standstill because no one's really fighting each other. Like no big fights is happening in the middleweight division. So Lara, he had the belt for what 2 years and fought and defended it against Cornflake and what's the other guy name from Ireland or something like that? I forgot his name.
Well, it feels
Um,
like between him and Golovkin, that was because it's just two older fighters that never like
yeah,
formally retired and just held on the belts until they were taken.
holding it hostage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got Charlo. He's been holding that belt hostage forever. Then you got Johnny Beck, who's like busy, but no one wants to fight him. So yeah, middleweight, and then all the contenders, for some weird reason, we not fighting each other. Every contender is fighting a guy that's not even ranked. Like
Right. And then it's tough because the prospects of the division, be it Troy Isley or Joe Sean James, it makes them tough for them to get up to the contender status because the division's just not moving.
it's not moving at all. It's not moving at all. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just hopefully we could get it moving. We need new champions. Like we need a new face. Like
Yes.
that's my plan. Like I pray, I get the opportunity to fight for a world title and fight loud, dethrone any of the champ. Once I dethrone one of the champions, I'm unifying. I'm undisputing, and I'm gonna be like the next Bernard Hopkins. I'm gonna defend. I'm gonna face my mandatories. I'm gonna bring Juice back to the middleweight division. I just need my shot. That's it. Like I just need my shot. But that's my dream. I want to be the man so I could beat everybody that think they could beat me. Like that's what motivates me. But I just gotta get there. So that's basically my journey right now. And I'm willing to beat whoever they put in front of me. But at the same time, like I don't want to just keep beating the same level. I want to beat guys that's supposed to be there already. Like so
Do you think Jamal
that's
Charlo is a serious athlete at this point?
to be honest, I don't even know. Is he at? They didn't even fight at 160. They fought like at 165 or something like that, or he weighed in at 166.
It was
Like,
a
yo,
catch
bro,
weight,
are you
some kind
gonna
of
be
catch weight.
are you gonna fight Adamas or not? If not, let Adamas be champion so he could fight like he could fight the contenders because I'm sure he'll give everybody a shot. You feel me? Same thing with Lara. What is you doing? Danny Garcia is not in the weight class. Come on, bro. And then if Danny win, I don't think he's gonna fight real middleweights either. Like he's just fight a
Right. He'll
like
rematch Keith at 155 or whatever.
yeah, just fight a real middleweight contender and lose, and so they could fight. You know, like we could get this thing rolling again. But these guys are holding the belts hostage. And Johnny Beck, I don't really got nothing to say about him because he's fighting everybody. Everybody put in front of him, he's fighting them.
Yeah, I
Because
never get the sense from him that he's turning down big fight
nah,
opportunities.
he honestly want to unify and stuff like that. I think, and they're not gonna do it. He's a high risk, low reward for them. For like the Charlos and the Laras, the guys that been on top already. It's pointless. He's a high risk, low reward to them, but to me, he's an opportunity to me. Like they're like trying. I'm not gonna say they're running from him, but they're like ignoring him. I'm running to him. Like it's the difference with the position I'm in. So
I kind of do feel like you're the only guy actively calling Janabek out for a fight or showing interest.
yeah, I'm not like yo. I need him to fight me, nothing like that. But if the opportunity presents itself, everybody like whoever asks me would I fight him? Yeah, I'll fight him, of course. Yeah, why not? And top rank, they familiar with me, So all it takes is one phone call from Bob or somebody, and I'm with it. I'm with
So,
any of it though.
do you think he's the top guy right now?
At 160,
Yeah.
um, I mean he got two of the belts, so technically, yeah. I feel like the Charlo that fought Sergey Derevchenko, that's the top guy. That guy was hard to beat. Like I think that Charlo beats.
No, that was Jamal. That was Jamal.
I think that Charlo beats Johnny Beck. That Charlo.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Different version of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So nah, he looked like he's. I'm not gonna say he going downhill, but he don't look like the best version of himself. But he's still a great fighter. He's still elite. But I don't think he's that same Charlo that beat Sergey. But going back to your question, it's out of him and Charlo, in my opinion. I wouldn't just automatically say he's the best, but it's out of him and Charlo. I don't think Larry's the best though.
I mean, he's a phenomenal fighter. It's just tough to know what a guy at that age who's not active, like what do you got left, or how much interest do you even have in the sport at this point?
And on top of that, like his who has he fought lately? You
Been
know,
pretty light.
yeah. So it's like we ain't see him in a fight in a long time. So yeah, yeah, I wouldn't put him as he's not the best in my opinion. It's out of Charlo and Johnny Beck. And Charlo, he took 3 years off, or two, however long that his break was, and he fought Benavidez, and he looked decent for that. He looked decent for all that time off. So the more he fights, I think he'll look better. So
I thought he looked good, but there was also times where it was like, Benavidez used to fight at 140 pounds, and there was times where he was kind of pushing Charlo to the ropes and letting, kind of ripping him with combinations. He's bullying him a little bit. That was the part that surprised me about that performance, was just Benavidez is so naturally smaller, and it seemed like he was the aggressor, even though Jamal was just more talented.
I think fighters get up for certain fights. So I'm not saying he didn't get up for Benavidez, but I don't think that same Charlo will come to a Johnny Beck fight, in my opinion. Like I think he kind of he came in. Well, it's facts. He came in overweight. Like how how much discipline did he really have for that fight? How serious did he take Benavidez if he came in over like that much pounds overweight? So I don't think that same Charlo will show up to a Dames fight or a Johnny Beck fight, I don't think that same Charlo will show up. I
Well, he
think
can't. I don't think he'll beat any of those guys if he does.
Johnny Beck. Well, you never know, bro. It's boxing. You never know, man. You never know. I won't count him out. Would I favor him? I don't know. I won't count him out though.
You can't count him out because both of those brothers are just very talented and like physically strong and athletic. But for me, it just he's not a very active. He hasn't been active in the last couple of years, and I think like if I see him fight in a bunch, I'll take him seriously. Basically, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Nah, I understand where you're coming from.
Because if you're going to turn down a fight with Canelo Alvarez, it's like, how seriously can I take you? That's the biggest money fight in the sport,
Right.
you know? Everybody in your weight neighborhood would drop what they're doing for that fight, you know?
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you know, we in a sport where you could lose your life, and the most important thing of going into a fight not being there physically, it's being there mentally, so like I don't know him from a can of paint. I ain't trying to take up for him or nothing, but he wasn't, mentally he wasn't right. He was going through some things, and I've been there before, like losing my parents and stuff like that. So I kind of understand. I don't know what he's been through, but just from a mental standpoint, not being there, I kind of understand what you're going through, what he was going through. When you get in that ring, you got to be firing on all cylinders.
Right.
You can't be going in there with something on your mind when you got somebody in there that's trying to take your head off that could potentially change your life. Like look at Ricardo Colon. I forgot. I don't know how to pronounce the name.
Pritchard Cologne.
Richard Colon, and there's a lot of fighters that lost their life in the ring. The guy that
Max Dadashev.
yeah, him. Like it's a lot that could happen, and you just you gotta be right. You gotta be right mentally. So if his mind wasn't right, money is not worth your health. No matter not $1 million, millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. If you can't talk or eat or spend it right, then it's not worth having. So I don't disagree with him for turning the fight down, and he kept the money in the family at the same time. So
Well, and I think the thinking from an outsider would probably be that's such a great opportunity, just get it together. But I think
yeah,
maybe that even speaks to where he was in his life, that the biggest fight in boxing presented himself, and he wasn't able to step up to that.
yeah, nah, for sure, yeah, man. Then getting smacked out, I guess so getting smacked, and he was going through a lot, man. It's good that he didn't take that fight. Canelo probably would have ruined him. That Charlo that showed up to fight Benavidez one never lasted with Canelo.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, nah, I think that was a smart move because look, he's still undefeated and he still got his belt and he still can make the Canelo. He still can make big fights, So it's cool. But will he make them big fights? I think he probably gonna fight Caleb Plant or something like that. Whatever he gonna do, just get a belt up. Just get a belt up, bro. Get a belt up so we can all
Especially if you're going to fight at 168, give that fucking middleweight belt up.
get a belt up so we can all shake, man. So we could get this thing rolling again. 154 division, they all been locking ass. Lately, it kind of slowed down though, since Hurd got out the picture and
I don't know. I mean, Lubin and Ramos just fought, Tim
yeah,
Tszyu and
they all fight each other.
yep.
But it's like the 60 division is just it just needs a new face. It needs a new champion. Johnny Beck, he's not from here, so nobody knows him. Nobody really cares for him. And like we said, Lara, he's old, and Charlo, the division needs a new face. That division needs a new champion. So that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to get up in there, man. So yeah, any of them guys, Ammo, Shane Mosley Jr., any of them guys that's in my way, they're gonna have to move. Like I'm gonna take them out. So that's
Do you see
that's
yourself as like a career middleweight, or is that something you want to do at some point? Is go to a
move.
different weight class?
Well, my goal is become a middleweight champion. I honestly think I'm gonna be a career middleweight though, because once I become champion, I'm gonna unify if I don't fight for the unification as my first championship to begin with. But I want to defend my titles a couple times, like a good 3 or 4 times. And if I'm still feeling good, then yeah, I'll move up. But I feel good at 160, so no, I think I'm gonna be a career middleweight.
What's kind of like,
I honestly think I could go to 54 if I really wanted to. My last fight, I weighed in at 158. So
have you
like,
have you ever seriously considered that?
I fought at 54 a while back, and it was well, no, I fought at it was like 156. I fought a 154 pounder. It was a fight on a 1 week's notice, and I made the weight. I made 156 on 1 week's notice. So if I want to, I think with the right nutrition and all of that, I could make 154. But I've just been so locked in at 160. I'm already ranked at 160. I feel strong. I feel good. I'm just gonna stay here. But if I win a title and I become unified and it's a big champion at 154, then maybe I'll go down. Maybe like my name is big enough. I'll go down and make a fight with another unified champion at like just how Canelo and Charlo did, but it just be at 60 and 54, not 68 and 54. And they won't have to move up. I'll move down.
Well, and it just seems like you'd have more options fighting it that way. You know what I'm saying? As far as interesting opponents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. But I think by the time I become champion, half of them guys will move up. Half of them guys will be up.
We can only hope, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What's kind of like what's your motivating force as a fighter at this point in your career?
Um, that's a great question.
Like what's the thing that gets you moving in the morning?
My parents, my parents, my past. See, when I turned pro, I think I was like 21. I just turned 30. So like in the beginning of my career, I didn't take it as serious as I should have. If you look back on my losses, it was like back to back and like within this like 2016 to 2017, like the year apart. And I really wasn't taking the sport as serious as I should have. But I after after I took my last loss, man, I've been through so much, bro. Like I lost both of my parents. Like I lost
Sorry to
like
hear
my
that.
yeah, the love of my life. I lost her, and I had my son, and I was shelved. There was just so much going on, and my mom always was telling me like after my last loss, she was there. She was there. She was in the locker room with me, and then she said, "Son, you'll never lose again. Don't worry about it. You'll never lose again." And I never forgot that ever. And even when I was off for the 3 years, she used to always motivate me like, "Come on, champ, you got to get back right. Come on, champ." And my dad used to motivate me too before he passed. So when I ain't have them to lean on, and I was just by myself one day, and I just told myself like, you know what, I'm gonna give this shit another shot, and I'm gonna take it serious. I'm gonna cross all my T's, dot all my I's, and I'm gonna really show the world like what I'm capable of. And ever since I made that decision, I'm the best version of myself, and that's what gets me up in the morning. Like I can't let them down. Like I can't let them down. I had it rough. My first comeback fight, I had to fly. I went to Mexico on my expense. I didn't have anyone, and no one didn't want to invest in me. No one believed in me. Go on my box rec. I paid for my flight. I paid for my hotel. I paid my opponent. I paid so I did everything. And I had to jump start my career all over again. And by the grace of God, I got an opportunity from Bob Arum. But yeah, um, my parents are my driving motivation. That's what gets me up. My family, knowing where I was, like like where my career was, knowing where it could end up after you lose, how this game is. It's so much different factors that motivates me. So yeah, that's my driving force, man. Just I got a lot of people depending on me, and I can't let my family down. It's not about me,
Yeah.
and that's the difference. Before it was about me. And that's probably why, I got caught slipping a couple of times to guys I shouldn't have lost to. But it ain't about me no more. And that's what really makes me even more hungry because it's deeper than just me boxing and winning. It's a whole. I have a story to tell. So
Well,
yeah.
first of all, I'm very sorry for your loss. 3 years is a long time to be out of the ring, bro. What was that part of the reason why? Were there other reasons that contributed to that? Did you have an
Um.
injury?
Well, so I had a hand injury. I had to get surgery after that fight, but I healed up in like 6 months, and the opportunities that was presented to me, they were like opponent opportunities. Like, oh, just go to Canada, fight this guy 20-0 next week, like stuff like that. And I get it. I lost to guys that I shouldn't have lost to, so they looked at me as an opponent. But I was telling them like, yo, I'm no, like, why don't you buy me a fight, get me back up and rolling? I'm not taking these fights. I'm not just a guy that's gonna take a quick payday for next week just to go out there and not be fully prepared and lose in another guy's country. No. So for a long time, I was turning down those type of fights, and I was trying to, get my team to get me a paid fight so I could just, shake the rust off. I just came off a hand surgery, off a loss, So I was going through that for about a year and some change, and then my mom died. And once my mom died, it just devastated me, and I just didn't want to box no more. And I just stopped boxing for a while. I gained some weight. I just took some time off, and then I had that conversation with myself and my parents, and I lost the weight, and I saved my money, and I knew I was no one was well, I had an opportunity to fight in Mexico, so I saved my money and I went to Mexico, and I've been rolling ever since.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot to go through and still be continuing your boxing career and basically, I mean, arguably getting one of the best wins of your career in your last fight.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. So,
Last thing I gotta ask you about, bro, because it was the reason that you and I met. Um, as somebody that's in camp with Shadeja, what was your reaction or your interpretation of that fight with Franchon Cruz Dezarn? How did you interpret what happened in the ring and with her performance and with the judging?
um, I train with her every day. I watch her spar. Sometimes I even spar her. That wasn't the Shadeja that that we know in the gym, like that I know in the gym. I think that wasn't her. I don't know what went wrong because I have yet to like speak to her about it. But the thing I would say from the outside looking in, I don't think Franchon beat her. I think she beat herself. I don't I don't think Franchon's a better fighter or nothing like that. I think it was something that Shadeja had going on with herself, in my opinion. But I still haven't spoke to her and got to see what was going on because after a loss you want to give your teammates and stuff space, and then you speak to them. So, but that's how I analyzed it. I think she beat herself. I think it was something going on with her because that wasn't the Shadeja I saw in camp. She was like stopping females and like looking like Floyd and Jerron Ennis mixed in one in camp. So yeah, but it's boxing, man. Shit happens, and it's not about because everybody, like I said, things go well when you undefeated and you're doing your thing. But what defines you as a person is how you bounce back of your adversity. So
Yep.
now that her real journey begins, we got to see what she's made of, and I believe she'll come back stronger than ever. And yeah,
And it's not to make excuses, but it also did feel like Franchon's whole objective was to
let's get
smother
ahead.
and to lean on Shadeja.
Make it an
She
ugly
wasn't
fight,
even really
right?
trying to set any work up with it, and there was no warning from the ref. And so, as much as like I kept thinking, all right, at some point she's gonna start being, the chick that I saw in the gym all these times. She didn't really have the opportunity to because she had a girl that was like a cruiserweight leaning on her the whole time, and it just I kept waiting for the ref to say something. He never did.
Yeah, but we knew that. We knew that coming into the fight, and we trained for that. We trained for that. So I don't. She wasn't one excuse either. It was something with her. It wasn't Franchon because she sparred somebody that fight like Franchon. So and she was making the adjustments in the ring to stop. We had an answer for everything that Franchon brought, but for some weird reason she didn't execute it. So it's just I think it's just something that we got to find out from her. But I honestly think it was something that was going on with her, and she beat herself, in my opinion.
And I honestly I do think she's going to be somebody that gets more opportunities. Just so talented. Um, then it's not a real deep weight class. So I think it's sort of a matter of her getting a couple wins in a row, and I think she'll kind of be right back in the mix.
Yeah, and this will probably create more opportunities. It's like once you lose, the phone starts ringing, like it rings. So
There's
she's
such an
gonna.
irony to that, bro. It's such an irony to that. It's like you would think that the winners would get all the calls, right?
Mhm. Yep. No, it's the opposite.
Well, shit, bro. I really appreciate you coming on today.
All right, man. But yeah, like I said, man. Hopefully, I get my next fight could be a Mosley. That's a Mosley or the winner of Ammo and Koyu. Just a big a name, like just a big name.
I think it's
So
coming, bro. I do think it's coming. I think you just keep winning and you keep winning at a high level. And I think at a certain point, a meaningful fight's going to come your way.
yeah, for sure. I think so too. I
Well,
think
shit,
so.
bro. Is anybody anywhere that you want to shout out before we wrap this one up?
Yeah, I got all right. Um, shout out to I'm gonna shout out to a lot of Paterson fighters.
Please, bro.
Fighters that's coming out of Paterson, New Jersey. Shadeja Green, she'll be back. Shout out to her. Shout out to heavyweight Norman Neely. He's making the comeback. He's really good. Shout out to the White Flemings Jr., DJ, the silverback. He just fought last night, got a first round knockout. Um, who else? Shout out to uh, Gregory Price. His name is Tank. He's a beast. He's from Paterson, New Jersey. Shout out to
Tank.
Rajan.
Tank's a character.
Yeah, Tank. I just want to say Tank because people think I'm talking about Tank. you know. Shout out to
Patterson Tank.
yeah, Paterson Tank. Shout out to Rajon Chance from I think East Orange. Shout out to him. Shout out to Manny Chance. Shout out to I know I'm missing fighters, and if I damn, it's some fighters I'm missing. I know it. From Paterson. Okay, yeah, I can't think of no more. But if I forgot your name, just know I love you. You my brother slash sister. It's just yeah, I'm tired. So, but shout out to everybody I deal with, and yeah, shout out to my city, Paterson.
Well, shit, man. I really appreciate you coming on. Congrats on boxing a beautiful fight. I can't wait to see you back in the ring. And I'll see you. I'll see you whenever we do the Lukey show, brother.
All knockouts 2024. All knockouts 2024.
I like that.
All knockouts. So if I'm the underdog, you're gonna win some money. Bet some money on it. I'm
Hey,
telling you.
listen, stay tuned. I think that, for all the hardcores in here, I really think this is a guy you're gonna start seeing on the bigger platform sooner than later.